It was supposed to be a quiet weekend. Sarah had planned everything down to the last detail. 3 nights in a rustic cabin in the Appalachian woods with her boyfriend, Mark, and their 2 friends, Ben and Julie. No cell service, no city noise, just the forest, a wood stove, and a stack of board games. They were all in their late 20s and desperate for a break from the burnout of their office jobs. The cabin was old but charming, tucked deep in the woods at the end of a winding dirt road. Its nearest neighbor was miles away, and the only signs of life were the bird song and the rustling of trees. Perfectly secluded, Sarah had said with a grin when they arrived. They spent the first evening drinking wine, playing Clue, and laughing until the flames in the hearth died down. Outside, a wind whispered through the trees. At some point past midnight, Mark stepped out to smoke. The others were still inside cleaning up when he called out, "Hey, do you guys hear that?" They paused. "Hear what?" Ben asked, stepping out. Mark was squinting into the woods. "It sounded like whistling." Julie laughed. "You sure it wasn't the wind?" He shook his head. "No, it was tuneful, like someone whistling a song." Sarah came to the doorway. "There's nobody out here but us." Still, they all listened. For a while, there was nothing but the sigh of the trees. Then faintly, as if from far away, "Whoa-wee-wee." A slow, eerie tune. A few notes repeated, too regular to be random, too human to be the wind. Ben's smile faded. "Okay, that's creepy." Sarah forced a laugh. "It's probably just someone else camping nearby." "There's no other campsites for miles," Mark muttered. "And it's like 1 a.m. They all went inside, but no one slept easily that night. The next morning, the whistling was chalked up to someone's imagination. They distracted themselves with hikes, card games, and campfire cooking. But when night fell again, an unease settled over the cabin. That second evening, as they were sitting around the fire pit behind the cabin, drinking beer and roasting marshmallows, it came again. Whoo-wee-wee. Closer now. Ben stood up. "All right, what the hell is that?" Mark scanned the trees with a flashlight. "I don't see anything." Julie clutched Sarah's arm. "That's the same tune as last night." "Okay," Sarah said, her voice forced and shaky. "Maybe someone's messing with us, playing a prank." "In the middle of nowhere?" Ben snapped. "They'd have to know we were here." The whistling stopped. Dead silence followed. No wind, no crickets, just a suffocating stillness. Mark's flashlight flickered. "Go inside," he said suddenly. "Now!" They scrambled up the porch steps, Sarah fumbling with the door. Julie looked back. "Wait, did you see that?" "What?" Sarah hissed. "Movement," Julie whispered. "In the trees." Ben slammed the door shut and locked it. For hours they sat inside, weapons in hand, fire pokers, knives, even a heavy flashlight. But nothing came to the door. No more whistling. Just that awful, watching silence. The next morning, Mark insisted they search the woods. "I want to see if there are tracks," he said. "If someone's screwing with us, we need to know." Ben joined him. The girls stayed behind, rattled. While they were gone, Sarah poked around the old bookshelves in the cabin. Most were damp, unreadable paperbacks, but behind one shelf panel she discovered a false back. Hidden inside was a leather-bound journal, old and moldy, its pages stained with age and moisture. The first entry was dated 1956. I hear it again tonight. The same whistle, always the same notes. It's been 3 nights in a row now. I don't think it's human. Sarah's mouth went dry. She flipped through. It It stays in the woods, watching. Never comes close, but it's getting bolder. Last night I saw it. Just a glimpse. Too tall. The legs were all wrong. I boarded up the windows. Doesn't help. It's not trying to get in, just waiting. No one believes me. Said I should stop drinking. I burned the field. I think it helped. If you're reading this, don't whistle back. Sarah snapped the book shut. Mark, she shouted, rushing to the door. Mark. By the time Mark and Ben returned, Sarah had read the entire journal. Mark looked shaken. We didn't find tracks, but we did find something else. He held out a small object, a whistle, wooden, carved crudely, stained dark with something that wasn't sap. It was hanging from a tree by a rope, he said, just swinging there. That's not all, Ben added. There were little stick figures, like dolls, all around it, hanging. Like Blair Witch, Julie asked. No, Ben said, pale. These had teeth in them, real ones. Sarah opened the journal and read aloud the line again. Don't whistle back. They stared at the whistle. Mark looked at her. What happens if you do? Let's not find out, Sarah said, grabbing it and throwing it into the fire. It screamed. A high-pitched wail burst from the flames as the whistle cracked and bled dark, bubbling sap. They all jumped back as a column of oily smoke hissed upward. Then the forest screamed back. So loud it echoed, closer than ever. The fire died instantly. The forest swallowed every sound. Then came the footsteps, heavy, deliberate. Thump, thump, thump. They bolted for the cabin. Inside, they locked everything, boarded the windows. Mark stood at the front door with an axe. No one spoke. They just listened. The steps moved slowly around the cabin. Thump, thump, thump. Then, whistling again, but not from outside, from upstairs. They all froze. That's not possible, Ben whispered. The attic. They hadn't even checked it since arriving. Someone's up there, Julie said. Someone's in the house. Sarah shook her head. No one's been in here. Mark held the axe tight. We have to check. No, Sarah hissed. Didn't you hear the journal? It waits. It doesn't need to break in. It's already here. Whoa. It was overhead now, above them. The ceiling creaked. Then, a knock from the attic hatch. Knock, knock, knock. 3 slow, polite knocks. Something wanted them to open it. No, Mark whispered. No way. Burn it, Sarah said suddenly. That's what the journal said. He burned the field. There's no field, Julie said. There's us, Ben said grimly. It followed us. Wherever we go, it will follow. Something scratched the ceiling, slow and deliberate. Then, the hatch creaked open. They didn't wait. They grabbed their bags and ran, out the door, into the woods. Not toward the road, they didn't have time, but downhill. The stream was downhill. If they followed it, they'd eventually hit the old Ranger Road. Behind them, the whistling resumed. Mocking, closer than ever. It followed no rhythm now, just long, erratic blasts. Sarah looked back once. She wished she hadn't. It stood in the doorway of the cabin. Tall, bones showing through gray, tight skin. No eyes. Its head cocked sideways, and its mouth stretched into a grin too wide for its face. And in its hand, a second whistle. It raised it slowly to its lips. They ran. Hours blurred. They fell. Bled, cried. Julie twisted her ankle and couldn't go on. Ben stayed with her. Sarah screamed at them to keep moving, but Mark pulled her forward. The whistling chased them into the ravine. By the time they reached the old Ranger Road, it was sunrise. The sky was pale and pink, birds chirping as if nothing had happened. No sign of Ben or Julie. Sarah sobbed in the middle of the road. Mark knelt beside her, hugging her tight. We made it. We're out. They found a ranger truck within an hour, called in a rescue, but they never found Ben or Julie. No tracks, no blood, no signs. Just an old whistle hanging from a tree branch beside the stream, swinging gently in the morning breeze. Sarah never went into the woods again. She moved to the city, got a dog, took sleeping pills to ward off the dreams. But one night, she heard it again, whistling from the alley behind her apartment. Ooh. She froze. A package was at her door the next morning. No return address. Inside, another journal. One entry. It doesn't need the woods anymore. You brought it back with you. It whistles so it knows where you are. Every time you hear it, it's closer. And if you whistle back, it knows you've heard it. Sarah slammed the book shut. Too late. Because in that moment of panic, she had already exhaled, lips pursed. Ooh, way, way. From outside, a pause, then footsteps coming up the stairs.